Hey all. Okay, so first off, before I get into the main subject of the live stream, I want to apologize for not doing a conclusion video last night like I said I would. I was just so absolutely drained yesterday. When I gave my live stream, I could barely concentrate. And I didn't have it in me to give a conclusion video, but I'll just go on ahead and put it out to you. Uh, my nose feels a little damp for some reason. Yesterday, um, I tried making up for the lack of calories that I'd had Tuesday, and I had also more or less kind of focused a little bit more on having fast carbs. I was very desperate to try to pick up on my energy. And so it got to the point I stopped food and I wasn't like indulging or anything. I wasn't like gorging. I only ate when I was hungry, but the food was still extremely high calorie. And surprisingly enough, the last thing that I had logged, it still showed that my carbs wasn't all that high. But by the end of the day, I would say that my carbs were. And by the time I was ready for bed, I felt a little better, a little more energized than I was all day. And I didn't like keep asking myself all day why I would have felt like that. But before I went to bed, as I always do, I like to have a good little conversation with the Lord. And last night was no different. And I was asking Him as to why that I had felt so weak after having so much energy Monday and Tuesday. And He revealed to me that I had burned so many calories and didn't eat enough. Because just a small recap about Tuesday, not including my resting burn, I had burned over 1,700 calories. And I had only ate around 1150 or so in calories. So that's what the Holy Ghost had revealed to me, that I had burned way too many calories and didn't eat enough to refuel that. So even though I had focused yesterday on trying to bring my calories back up, it was just, it took all day. And then I still really, but I feel better today. I'm not feeling lethargic like I did yesterday. I'm not really up to doing any major exercise or pushing it out there, but I'm okay. I'm okay. I feel fine as far as that goes. I don't feel weak or anything. So, like, I was more or less just trying to figure out how that I could incorporate more protein and make sure that my calories was more up to par to make up for any heavy energy burn. And even this morning I was in consideration about it, and I had decided to just go on ahead and forego strength training and get into the shower. And so while I was in the shower, I was contemplating some things, and I was also more or less reminiscing. But before I tell you any more and get deeper into what's what, because as you can see on the title, it reads Day 1 and Day 8. And I'm going to explain that to you in just a little bit. So yesterday I came in at 221.3. Today I came in at 222.1. Now I'm not going to complain about that one bit because of how I did eat yesterday. You know, that's like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. But I did have uh, the faster foods. Like I had pizza rolls, French fries, chicken nuggets. So I didn't stay within the more balance. But like I said, I was trying to gain that energy. I was trying to get energy back because I really did feel drained. So in the shower this morning, I was thinking about how much energy I had put out and the fact that there really isn't anything to show for it. For the energy that I had put out Monday and Tuesday, I truly expected to be like 218 at least. And um, in reality, according to what I have marked out so far on this week for the calendar, I've more or less been hanging. I've not done any dropping. Now, in my past, like in 21, for some reason I keep thinking 21, but it may have well been 22. But I had took up walking, and I walked all day long, and I'd done intermittent fasting where I was eating from 12 to 6, and I'd already shared this with you. And in that little window, I only ate when I was hungry and stopped when I was satisfied. And most generally, I would have 2 egg rolls with a spring mix salad to break my fast, and then whatever dinner I would make. Sometimes that would be pizza rolls, sometimes that would be a steak. It just varied, but that's what I would have. And I had gone from 224 to 192 doing that. So that was decent, but there was still I was greatly interrupted from my walk when my daughter and her boyfriend moved into the house. And then I was also interrupted from my intermittent fasting because they would turn around and cook after 6 o'clock. And most generally, her boyfriend would cook and they would offer me a plate and cook. So overall, I ended up really messing up what was a good thing at that time. But I was walking nonstop. I was walking so much that my son said, Mom, with you walking like this, when will you ever have time to get the dishes done? Because I would no sooner, I would walk from the moment I'd get up after I'd brushed my teeth, I'd put on my shoes and whatnot, and I would take off walking in the house. I'd done all this in the house. And then when it come time to break my fast, I would break the fast, get right back to walking. And then when it come to dinner, I would fix the dinner, eat it, get right back to walking. And a lot of times, because I would have a goal in my mind, it would take me until midnight to hit that goal. But I somehow or another, I still managed to do the dishes before I went to bed. Don't know how I did that. But anyway, it seemed seamless, like no problem. I think I did this for about 6 months or so. 6 or 7 months, I stayed steady on that, and then it was broken with them moving in and everything. But I wasn't really reminiscing about that in the shower. That just, I had thought about that just now. But I had went back to thinking about, it was late of 2018 or earlier of 2019. I had reconsidered the Ray Down diet again. And there was one YouTuber that was a sister in Christ, and I thought she was my good friend. I thought we had hit it off pretty good. And she had been trying to do weight loss and everything, and then she decided to do keto. Well, she saw that I was trying to lose weight, and at the same time, I was eating chips or candy. I was drinking soda, and like I was losing weight, but it was kind of a little slow. And she started declaring to me that there was no way I could lose weight in eating junk food. Well, I wanted to prove her wrong. And so I had set out paying extremely close attention to my body, eating when I was hungry and whatever I had a taste for, stopping when I was satisfied, and doing that. And what I had done with that was I had made it a non-clinical, seems like I said non-clinical blind trial or non-clinical. Anyway, I had made it a non-clinical trial because I was doing it at home, It wasn't a group trial or anything. And I wanted to prove that, one, I could lose the weight and eat whatever I had a taste for, and two, that I could do it on the way down and not do any exercise. Because Grin Shamlin had said in her book that on the program that she had set up, even the paralytics was losing weight on it. And so, that kind of gave me the idea that, okay, I can lose weight without exercising and just eat when I'm hungry and stopping when I'm satisfied. So I went on the non-clinical trial. I documented what I was going to eat. I took pictures of what I was going to eat or described it, like what I'm doing with you all. And I would give my conclusion for the day. At that time, I wasn't live streaming, or I was, but I didn't do it for that. And, I just basically, I would tell my viewers how I was feeling and that I didn't have any more appetite. I was good for the day and stuff. And I'd done the non-clinical trial for 20 days. No exercise, just eating when hungry, stopping when satisfied, and eating whatever I desired at that moment, just as Grin Shamlin had said. And I lost 8 pounds in 20 days just doing that. And so I was thinking about that in the shower, and I was thinking 8 pounds in 20 days, just like in one day of being 3 full weeks, I was a little under 3 pounds a week. And then I thought, and here I was drinking soda and eating chips and other stuff, but I still lost 8 pounds. And then I got thinking, well, I have completely cut out soda. I'm not drinking soda now. And junk food is so minimal in my diet now, it's almost non existent, save the couple times that I do eat it. But on the whole part, I'm focusing on the proteins, my slow carbs, which is the vegetables, and then like my starchy carbs, which would be the potatoes. And I thought, if I could lose 8 pounds in 20 days, only eating when hungry and stopping when satisfied, and no exercise, eating that kind of stuff, how much weight could I lose doing the exact same thing, only eating when hungry and stopping when satisfied, no exercise, and this time with a better focused meal plan. In other words, how that I am really focusing on making sure that my food is more balanced. So, here it goes. Day 1 and day 8 of Operation 200. I would like to call it a non-clinical trial. Once again, can't really say it's a challenge, but not necessarily a trial either. But at the same time, maybe. I really wouldn't know what to label it. All I know is starting today. And I am going to do this until July 1st during my Operation 200. And I am going to see how much weight I lose this time. Only eating when hungry, stopping when satisfied, paying close attention to my hunger and to my body while I eat, paying very close attention so that I do not overeat, and my meals being balanced. This is going to be so very interesting to find out. And in thus doing so, it's possible I will also find out some other things about doing it. Or by doing it, I may find out some other things. But I also believe that by doing this, it will help me on my weekends as well, so that I don't overindulge on the weekends like I had been doing in the past. But what really got me thinking about doing this is because, as I'd said, I exercised every day last week. And then Monday and Tuesday, I really had the energy. I poured the energy out. I really had expected to be 210 something, like 218 at the most, 215 at the least. I had really put it out there. And instead, more or less hovering around in the lower 220s. So this will really be a true test, if you will, to see how much I can lose with the better food, as it's called for a dieter, more wholesome, well-balanced food within the limits of hunger. Now, normally I like to eat around 10 to 11 in the morning. And then just around the time that I feed the animals, which is around 4 o'clock, and after they're done eating, I go on ahead and fix my meal. Well, with this, because I am eating when hungry and stopping when satisfied, there's not going to be any specific time that I eat, which means I may even eat after 8, or not after 8, but after 6. I may eat after 6, which I've been doing anyway. And anytime first thing in the morning or whenever I'm hungry. I may not be hungry until 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I don't know. It varies. It's all according. So there will be no specific time that I eat, only when hungry. That also means I'm not necessarily going to be counting calories, but I am going to be logging my food because I do want to make sure that I keep my macros in check, that I've got plenty of protein in proportion to my carbs and my fats. I do want to keep up with that, but I'm not necessarily going to go by the calorie allowance that's on my net diary. And as far as it goes, exercise, that just simply means that I will not be doing any purposeful, vigorous exercise, which means strength training in the morning, walking any time of the day, running in place with Sally McRae or whatever. Nothing like that. But that uh, doesn't include like what I have to do on a regular basis, like gather trash and whatnot that I have to do around the house, mow the lawn and everything. That's the norm. I've got to do that anyway, so that's not included. But the purposeful, vigorous exercises that I have been trying to build up, I'm not going to be doing. I'm going to be putting my focus on paying attention to my body and when it needs nourishment and on my food balance so that it is the right portion food, the right balance and everything. That way I am satisfied. And I would love for it to turn out that I don't have to really eat that much at all. And it has pretty well gotten to the point that I'm pretty well fine with just 2 meals a day anyway. So some days I might even be fine with just having 1 meal a day. I don't know. But we will see just where it takes me, how much I may lose with this or not. I'm really expecting for me to be able to lose, because if I was able to lose 8 pounds in 20 weeks while still drinking soda and eating chips and other stuff, surely it would end up being a better outcome with me having more balanced meals and no soda. This this will really be fascinating. And by me doing this, that also allows me more time to do my earnings and meditate and whatever I need to do. Um, because when I try to exercise plus do a live stream, that doesn't leave me very much time for me to do my earnings. So I'm going to enjoy taking advantage of this free time to do more earnings. But it will most certainly allow me the chance to pay close attention to what my body is doing. That way, I only eat when I need to. Now, the other thing that Grin Shamlin had said about the Ray Down was there is no sweet drinks. My iced, which is full sugar, it's not sugar free, it's not fat free, but it is still part of my first meal. So after I drink this, after this is finished, I will switch to water, and that will be my drink until I'm hungry again. I look forward to doing this. And it's going to be even more interesting since I am going to be gone next week. I am planning on visiting a couple places to do a few videos. So I will be getting somewhat of a workout. And that's the other thing that isn't counted against me. Uh, Going to anything that is of interest, or anything that involves me getting to do a video will not be counted as an exercise or purposeful workout. It is just going to be basically to do the videos, enjoy the attraction, and create the entertainment for you all. And that's basically what that's going to be. So I will be getting some steps in next week, but it's only going to be the for the attractions and not a purposeful workout. So that will not go against me either. I can do that. It will just be the strength training and me purposefully getting out there and walking to burn calories and get steps that will I won't be doing. The downside is that one app that I am using to earn points so that I can cash out relies solely on me doing steps, and at certain checkpoints it awards me certain points for reaching that many steps. And because I'm not going to be purposefully walking to do my usual 5 to 7 miles, I'm not going to be able to really earn points so much on that. And it seems like if I can manage around 3,500 steps to 4,000 steps, at least I would make 1 point. So I don't know how many times I'm going to be able to earn at least 1 point during this challenge or trial or test or whatever we're going to call it. But if it would kind of reset my body in some way so that it would knock it out of the 220s, it would still be so worth it. And so I guess I'll overlook the one app for now, and then after July 2nd or after July 1st, I will resume strength training. And last night it seemed like the Lord was telling me to do like around 10,000 steps in the morning and then 10,000 steps in the evening, to just kind of work around that. So after July 1st, I will resume exercise, only I'm going to make it a little bit more gentle on my body, while at the same time it should be effective. And we'll see where that goes after that. And maybe like starting out slow or something, and then maybe increase a little. I don't know. I just know that I want to be able to work it out so that I continue losing the weight. And I am wanting to get into strength training and toning, but I've got to get my body into a good place first. So apparently my body isn't in a good place right now, or that would have been quite effective. So it is what it is. And I know that if I would keep up with the vigorous workouts and make sure that I'm eating a good balance so that I've got enough calories in to make up for the burn, that in time it would really drop the weight. But I'm really needing that reset mentally. I'm paying closer attention to my body when it comes to the eating. And the one thing that I have discovered for fact, and this is the one thing that I had seriously contemplated this morning, was the very fact that when I had done the lay down and ate when hungry and stopped when satisfied, eating whatever I desired for that moment when I was hungry, and I lost the 8 pounds in 20 days. I didn't do any exercise. It is possible for me to lose weight without exercise. But I'd also discovered that if I basically exercise and really don't pay no attention to when I eat, how much I eat, I don't lose weight, I gain. So it still comes down to the eating. It really comes down to the eating. And I'm going to repeat what's been said so many times before. You can't out exercise a bad diet. And I have truly found that to be true. I might can stand at a standstill, stay at one specific rate, but I don't lose. And a lot of times I start gaining and then I think my body's broken. No, my body isn't broken. It's the attitude I carry about food that's broken. But on the other hand, if I'm paying attention to my body and only eating when hungry and stopping when satisfied, I mean, even with junk food and soda, just doing that, losing the weight, I can only imagine what may come of doing this with no sodas and so very little junk food. I mean, the junk food is so minimal now compared to. I can lose weight without exercise, but I can't lose weight with just exercise. So there it is. Day 1 and day 8. It's day 8 of the Operation 200. It is day 1 of the non-clinical trial of just eating when hungry and stopping when satisfied and no exercise. I look forward to seeing it. I look forward to seeing it. This is going to be good. It's going to be good. And it definitely will give me a reset because then I will be more in tune to my body, which is what I'm needing to do right now. I am really seriously needing to stay in tune to my body. I had found myself concentrating so much on what exercise I was going to do, how many calories I wanted to burn, what route was I going to walk, how long was I going to jog in place with Sally McRae. I mean, that was basically the only thing that was running on my mind. And even though I was taking time to seriously think about my menu for the next day and really wanting to make sure to add the protein and stuff, I really, it was more about the exercise than it was making sure that I ate at the proper time. So by doing this, I am most definitely going to be paying closer attention to my body and its needs. Not its wants, its needs. So, yeah. It seemed like I had just done a reset, a mind reset not too long ago, but I cannot remember what in the world it was. I've been trying to remember what it was because I kept saying that by doing this, by doing this, by doing this, I'm resetting my mind on food. And I don't remember what in the world it was that I was doing. God. Okay, yes. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Lord God. When I had put myself on the 1200 calories, when I had seriously put myself on the 1200 calorie, that was to reset my mind on just how much food I could eat. And the really crazy thing is, when I was doing that, I was still doing like chicken nuggets or pizza rolls or a pizza or pancakes or whatever. And I'm not saying that pancakes is bad, but I was still eating all that, trying to shove it all into just 1,200 calories. And I had discovered Tuesday with what I had had that it is so easy to eat within 1,200 calories. But the downside is if you're really putting your body into it with the exercise and you burn those calories and you don't eat enough calories the next day, you feel weaker than a dog. You have to refuel that. And I was thinking, like, wow, I've really got this, man. I'm knocking this out of the park. I've burned this much and I've only ate this little. Yeah, my weight loss is going to be tremendous. No, it wasn't. I only lost 2 ounces. I was 221.5 Tuesday and came in yesterday at 221.3. Just 2 ounces with the way that I had really worked it. Like, and yet, crazy. It's absolutely nuts. My body's nuts. And that's the reason why I've got to pay closer attention to it so that I can relearn it and therefore I can do with it what is necessary to make sure it loses the weight. And there's a few things that may benefit others that I don't benefit from, but other things that others do that I would too. I know that there's some people, they've got the kind of metabolism that if they do enough cardio and they eat a better balanced meal, they lose the weight no problem. It comes right off because they've got a healthy thyroid. I've got to take thyroid medication to keep mine regulated. So that means I have to keep that in consideration. Yes, I need to build my metabolism up, and one way of doing that is through strength training so that I build muscle. But it also has a whole lot to do with how little food I eat, because I digest more slowly than those with healthy thyroids. So I need to keep that in mind. And that's the one thing that kind of shocked me about Monday and Tuesday, the fact that I had so much energy, because it just, hmm. And even Saturday, I told my friend that I had energy. I mean, it was great. It was great. But the energy that I had for Monday and Tuesday, I almost couldn't keep up with myself. Especially Monday. I think I had more energy Monday than I did Tuesday. But I really do. I need to keep in mind about my thyroid so that I eat accordingly. And therefore, if I do happen to burn the extra calories, I definitely need to make sure that at least I replace some of that fuel so that at least I'm not lethargic again the next day like I was yesterday. I don't want to ever feel that again. I do not want to feel that again. Was really, I was so drained that taking my plate to the sink felt heavy. I was drained. So, yeah, I do not want to feel that again. I don't exactly know what kind of exercise I will resume after July 1st. It's all according to what the Holy Ghost prompts me to do. But I think this here will be a nice little shock to my system to kind of boost it on, kind of boost it toward continuing on its weight loss instead of more or less being on a standstill. And that's the one thing that we need to do on occasion is throw the system into shock, because the body adapts. Whatever you're doing to it, it adapts. So on occasion, you need to throw your body into a little shock, get it back on the right track, and then switch again, you know. And so basically, I guess that's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the Operation 200 until July 1st. And I still look forward to seeing how much I weigh next week after being gone. It's going to be interesting to see. And I am going to be controlling how much I eat. I'm going to do my very best to only eat when hungry and stop when I'm satisfied. We're already planning on eating out at a couple places, or at least eating out at one place and then having takeout brought back or something. Um, so, of course, there's going to be takeout and everything. There's going to be restaurant food. But I'm going to still pay attention to my body, make sure that I only eat as much as is necessary and stop when I'm satisfied. And it should be good. It should be good. It'll be really fascinating to see where I'm at next week. Real fascinating. Uh, Tomorrow will be the last day that I will share with you how much I weigh. And it will be the last live stream and final thoughts for the evening until next week Saturday, unless of course I decide to give you a final thought on that Friday, but more than likely it'll be a Saturday. And knowing me, I'll probably be really anxious to share with you, so there's a good chance it'll be Friday too. So either way, it'll be Friday or Saturday next week that I give you an update of how I did during the week and everything. And I'm excited to do this. I really am. I'm very excited about pulling this off and seeing what my body does with this. There's got to be a big difference just for me not having soda and doing it. There's got to be, right? I would think so. So, yep, yep. How would you call it? Leave it in the comments section below. How would you call this? Because I'm giving it the term non-clinical trial. It's not necessarily a challenge. And I don't know if you could call it a trial. So just give me your thoughts in the comments below what you would title this. Either way it goes, it'll be interesting to see what the results are July 1st. Will it put me to 200 pounds? How close will I be to 200 if not 200? It's another question. We'll just have to take it day by day, step by step. It's going to be interesting. So anyway, that is my new plan and what I'm going to be doing. And fingers crossed that it ends up being something really good. And on a greater note, if I really lose the weight pretty good like this, and I lose a decent amount of weight, it will make it so much easier for my strength training and toning, which is something to really look for. So I am really looking forward to doing this. So we'll see how much I weigh tomorrow with no exercise and making sure to stay what's on the menu. Surely. I'm definitely not going to be doing it like I had on the weekends where I just kind of eat willy nilly and not think too much about it. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to be treating it like I do any other day when I exercise, only this time no exercise. So, yes. All right. So that's that. And I will be with you tonight with the conclusion for my day. I will be giving you the shorts on what my meals are and tell you how I feel and everything. And it's going to be a little different this time. I will give you a still shot of how many calories I had took in. But I think this time I will also give you a still shot of my macros. That way you can see the balance that I had managed. And but I'm definitely not going to have any still shots on how many calories I burned, which is fine as long as I let you know what I'm doing otherwise, because for the time being, it's got everything to do with the feeding. Everything to do with the feeding for now. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I am so tickled that you had joined me. And for those of you who watches this on the replay, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate you. And like I said, in the comments section below, tell me what you would call this. seeing that I'm calling it a non-clinical trial, would you rename it something else? So leave that in the comments section below. Anyway, I love you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I will see you tonight in my conclusion video and tomorrow with a live stream. And you all have a great rest of your day.